Welcome back to Between Two White Coats, a podcast designed to help you be the healthiest version of yourself. I'm Dr. Michelle Plaster, a family medicine doctor.
And I'm her co-host, Amber Foster, a family nurse practitioner. In our combined 30 years in medicine, we've seen a lot.
We're discussing key issues surrounding health and wellness, answering some of our biggest questions, overcoming health obstacles, and giving patient-centered advice in hopes of educating you and providing the tools you need to live a healthy life.
If you find our podcast helpful, please consider subscribing so you don't miss an episode. And don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating and review. This will help other people find our podcast.
Thanks for joining us. We look forward to serving you.
Welcome back to Between Two White Coats. Today we're going to talk about fall reset, or we're going to subtitle it The Second New Year.
It's August and September, and things are changing.
Yes, things are changing, and people start getting back in a routine because school's back in session, and so which planners even do this? Like you can buy planners from January to December, or school planners, which are August to July.
And look, if you're like me, January is not enough. It's not frequent enough to get your stuff together. Let me say stuff. To get your stuff together. I swear I said stuff.
She said stuff.
She said stuff. It's not enough.
It's not.
I need multiple times throughout the year to get my stuff together.
That's right. So we're going to talk a little bit about a fall reset today and kind of what that looks like for families. We've done a back to school and off to college episode, which is kind of what you need to do for your kids, but what do we need to do for ourselves?
Right. And so as fall rolls around, it's time for us to kind of go, it's a new time. Let me get my stuff together. Let me get my stuff together.
Which I always feel too, like, especially here in the South, like we've got fall, like it's football. Who cares that it's 100 million degrees and we're still playing football? Like it's fall is like you start thinking about pumpkin spice, which I don't love. I know that's extremely controversial. We're probably going to get hate mail on that.
Oh, did you say that out loud?
I did.
Uh-huh.
But all the fall things, like the cozy things, and we like that. And then we know like the holiday season.
And when we have the season shift, we tend to get a mentality shift as well.
Yeah.
And so, I think one thing is, especially probably anywhere this summer, this has been such a hot summer, but you go inside.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like we can rear our head and go, can I come outside yet?
Yes.
Because it's cooling down a little bit. And so it's a great time to start going for walks and embracing nature a little bit more. Also in the fall, we get back to a bit of a schedule, especially if you have people at school. And so it's time to drop them off at a certain time and then pick them up at a certain time. And then you get a time that you're doing stuff yourself. Yeah. And so I think getting back to a schedule and really asking yourself, what do you want that schedule to look like? Other people don't have to dictate your schedule. You can have a little say in it. Yeah. And so, yes, I know I have to drop off at this time, be at work at this time, but when can you get your exercise in there? When are you going to do your food prepping and meal planning so that you're eating healthy? What other things matter to you that you're going to get back in schedule? For some people, it may even be that they've had a little bit of a hiatus from church or what their spiritual center is because they travel so much in the summer and such. So even, carving time back in for those things and getting yourself back on schedule, fall's a really good time to be intentional about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, even for people who don't have children with scheduling, but like travel. So you've traveled some. I mean, I've traveled this summer. And so just trying to get back into a routine. And my dad's preacher. So like, church scheduling is all up in and even August,
churches will take we usually have 3 services, but during this time we're just going to have one because so many people are traveling.
Yeah,
so things are getting back to normal in the fall.
So like making sure like you're making priority for things that matter to you.
Yeah.
And setting maybe some family goals or some family traditions because the holidays are coming up. And so planning that, like we have to plan because my brother lives in Texas. Like when are we going to celebrate the holidays together?
Starting to be a little proactive about what's going to be coming during this year.
Yes. So
and maybe you don't have kids in school, but maybe you're traveling with your brother who does have kids in school. And so just really everybody getting on the same page.
So kind of taking a high level view of what are the next, 5 or 6 months look like and what do you want it to look like?
Right.
What can we get rid of? What can we add? What can we create family traditions around?
Yeah. And I think when you do that, January comes and we're all sort of forced to think about, what do I want out of this next year?
And then that's gone within a couple weeks.
And then that is gone by January 8th. And so this is a great opportunity to say, hey, we're 8 months into the year. What did I keep that I really want to focus on? What did I have intention to do, but it got away from me? How can I learn from that and not beat myself up over it, but really reflect back and say, well, what got in the way? Because this is important to me. So maybe how can I carve it out differently to make it happen? And looking at how do we get back outside when the heat of the summer is over? How do we get back on schedule? What do we want that schedule to look like? Not just letting people hand us our schedule, but actually being intentional about our schedule.
Another thing is, because the weather changes, our clothing changes. And so it all automatically makes me just want to clean out things like decluttering. And I'm saying that because those are also good opportunities to check like air filters. And I don't really even know what I'm about to say because I don't really know. That'd be something that Josh does. But like checking like heating elements and like making sure that like the smoke detectors are like the batteries. Word I'm trying to come up with. Like all of those things that are kind of like a spring cleaning. I don't know what you would call it, like maybe a fall decluttering.
Yeah, and home safety.
Home safety
just checking all your home safety staff. If you have an elderly that you help care for, do you have all of their home safety done? Do you have the emergency numbers where they need to be? I think that's all
just
like
a safety check.
Yeah.
Besides just my clothes.
And we tend to think like spring cleaning. But this is a great time if we didn't get around to it for that once a year.
Space heaters and things like that. So things that could be fire risk or just to make sure that it's safe.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And you could divide out your spring cleaning. If you tend to go, well, I'm going to purge all this stuff in the spring, then, what did I not get to? I can get around to it now before we jump into a busy school year. I think also the holidays can come upon us so fast and be so overwhelming that doing a little prep for, okay, I would like to get my house decluttered so that then when I pull all my Christmas stuff out, I'm not trying to do all that at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I think you could use this opportunity to make a fall reset list. And here's the things that I try to do in the fall every year. Did I get my doctor's appointments, my dentist appointment, my eye doctor, any of those kind of things?
That's what I was going to say next is like the annual physicals. If you've not done your annual physical by August, I will just say out loud, like I know our schedules are fully like filling up for our annual physicals because those are the appointments that you want to be fasting for in the mornings. Now you can come in the afternoon and we can do labs at a different time. Yeah. But like those schedules fill up fast.
And if you have some incentives in your insurance or if you try to get it done in a calendar year, which, hey, if you haven't had it done yet in this calendar year, please call in the fall time of the year to get it scheduled because it is shocking how hard it is to get in with your primary cares and specialist anymore. There aren't enough doctors. Yeah. So let's make sure you're doing that in advance.
But if you call in December, there's not going to be, unless you're coming in the afternoon.
And then it's cold and flu season and your providers are busy with the sick people. So fall's a great time to just get some of that stuff knocked out before cold and flu season gets upon us. Flu shots, COVID shots, those kind of things happen at the beginning of cold and flu season. That's typically our September to October timeframe. So just getting set up for that. And then maybe you can just get any vaccines you want to get at the same time.
Yeah. One thing we always will say like exercise, nutrition, make sure you're resting, like all of those things, because as fall comes upon us, you mentioned cold and flu, so you're just more predisposed to disease when you run down. And so making sure that you're taking care of yourself. We've done episodes on supplements and things that we take, or like things like vitamin C, or just little things that you can do that would, hand washing is easy.
And you may want to consider adding that stuff back in the fall because we're beginning to move into cold and flu season, the viral contamination season.
So make sure
and so just getting your immune system get back on your multivitamin. If you're not, consider taking some immune enhancing C, zinc, those types of supplements as well through cold and flu season.
Yes. But rest is a big deal too, because we get overscheduled. I know we do at my house because of sports. And so making sure that you're taking time to kind of decompress and actually get good sleep.
Yeah, and getting yourself to bed on time as you get ready for back to school and all that other stuff is really crucial. I think just really taking a second to step back and be very intentional about what's around the corner. Look at what some of your possible obstacles are and be more prepared for them. Try to be more proactive. Being reactive can be very stressful. And being able to take an opportunity to say, I'm not just going to in January try to get my life figured out, but saying, okay, summer's over. Let's get back to some structure and let me just sit down and go through my fall reset list and make sure that I've got myself in some sort of a proactive mindset where I'm getting ahead of some things. I like the idea of a fall reset. I've not done it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it this year. And the more times that I can try to get ahead of things, the better.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with your fall reset. We like to leave you on a good note. Today's Tell Me Something Good is brought to you by our friend Jenny Fisher.
So I like to turn lemons into lemonade, and I previously had an amazing job that kind of came to a very quick ending. And because of that, I think it led me to a path of me taking my own business, and it flourished and doubled very quickly for me. So taking hardship and turning it into something that was a blessing in disguise.
That is something very good. Lemons into lemonade. Thank you so much for joining us. And until next time, take care of yourself.